You are being hunted. The financial industry has weaponized your dopamine, tricking you into cheerfully signing your own financial death warrant for cheap digital applause. Welcome to the beautifully disguised slaughterhouse of modern debt. To escape this engineered trap, you must watch until the very end. Welcome to the illusion. Today is June 29th, 2026, and if you are blindly scrolling through your social media feeds right now, you might feel a sudden, icy shiver down your spine. We have quietly slipped into a terrifying parallel universe, a twisted reality where drowning in insurmountable debt is no longer a silent tragedy, but a glorious, widely celebrated achievement. Credit Card Payoff Plan US welcomes you to this brutal awakening. Before we pull back the heavy curtain on this financial slaughterhouse, I urge you to hit that subscribe button right now. Your support is the absolute lifeblood that gives this channel the motivation to keep producing these hard-hitting truths and fighting back against the system that desperately wants to keep you broke. Now, look straight into the abyss of what went viral this past week. I want you to picture a young man, grinning from ear to ear, dangling the keys to a 2024 Kia Forte. He is dancing flawlessly to a trending audio track, proudly flashing his auto loan paperwork to millions of strangers. The interest rate? A soul-crushing 29%. He is shimmying on camera, blissfully unaware that he has just gleefully signed his own financial death warrant for a depreciating piece of metal. Then, the screen swipes to a medical and physical therapy student. She calmly screen records her student loan portal, revealing a monstrous, suffocating balance of $627,000. She offers a soft, detached smile to the lens and simply types the caption, "Oops." Finally, a young woman sits on her bedroom floor unboxing a mountain of greasy fast food, casually showing off her annual DoorDash recap, $6,630 spent entirely on the sheer privilege of having junk food carried from a drive-through window directly to her mouth. What is the underlying attitude tying all these digital ghosts together? Laughter. A chilling, hollow apathy. They treat financial suicide as if it were just another Tuesday. The very concept of flexing in the year 2026 has mutated into a deeply sick psychological disease. It is no longer about flashing a heavy gold Rolex, tossing the deed to a house on the table, or revving a loud supercar. Flexing has devolved into a masochistic extreme sport. It is a desperate, pathetic race to see whose liabilities can swell the fastest, who can hemorrhage their net worth the quickest, and who can permanently log out of the dream of financial freedom at the youngest possible age. They roar like untamable lions for the algorithm, but the devastating truth is that they are quietly weeping into their pillows every single time an automated bank deduction notification lights up their dark bedrooms. I am not sitting behind this microphone to act like a self-righteous preacher or to force you into a life of miserable deprivation. Your money is your own, and if you want to set it on fire, go right ahead. But looking through the cold, unforgiving lens of business, mathematics, and behavioral psychology, I am going to ruthlessly dissect these astonishingly stupid decisions. Consider this entire video your much-needed shock therapy. I am going to violently rip away the glamorous, delusional filters of modern internet culture to protect the money you have bled for. You cannot afford to click away. Stick with me until the very end, because you need to hear exactly how this era of virtual spending and real-world debt is engineered to destroy you, and how this normalized ignorance will shatter your life faster than any economic recession ever could. To truly understand how we reached this point of financial self-sabotage, we must first look into the mirror of the digital age and examine the psychological poison we are willingly drinking. We are living through a profound crisis of belonging, one that has been masterfully disguised as a spending problem. The young man with the 29% interest rate and the student laughing at a $500,000 deficit are not inherently foolish people. They are victims of a deeply engineered social matrix. In the past, human beings sought validation through their communities, their character, and their tangible contributions to society. Today, those fundamental human needs have been hijacked by a glowing rectangle that demands continuous visual proof of your relevance. When you purchase something you cannot afford, you are not actually buying a car, a luxury handbag, or an extravagant meal. You are purchasing a fleeting dose of digital applause. You are buying the temporary illusion that you matter to people who will forget you the moment they swipe up. The dopamine hit generated by a viral post or a flurry of admiring comments is intensely addictive, and it successfully masks the underlying financial hemorrhage. Behavioral psychology tells us that human beings are notoriously bad at evaluating long-term consequences when presented with immediate, high-intensity rewards. The algorithm preys on this evolutionary flaw. It trains you to value the aesthetic of wealth over the reality of security. It demands that you curate a lifestyle that looks prosperous on camera, even if the foundation holding it up is made of rotting wood and maxed-out credit limits. What breaks my heart is the profound loneliness of this charade. The people performing these financial stunts are desperately trying to fill a void in their souls with consumer debt. They have been brainwashed into believing that if they just look successful enough, they will finally feel whole. But the internet is an insatiable beast. It does not care about your bank account, your stress levels, or your future. It only demands more content, pushing you to borrow more, spend more, and risk more, until your entire identity is inextricably tied to the things you owe money on. The moment we surrender our self-worth to a screen, we become the perfect, vulnerable prey for a financial industry waiting in the shadows. We must strip away the illusion that banks, credit card companies, and modern financial applications are providing you with a helpful service. They are not your friends, they are not your partners, and they certainly do not want to see you achieve financial independence. They are the architects of a beautifully designed, highly efficient modern-day serfdom. Look at the language they use and the interfaces they build. The entire ecosystem of modern borrowing has been thoroughly gamified to separate the psychological pain of paying from the fleeting joy of consuming. Buy now, pay later applications use bright, pastel colors, cheerful fonts, and frictionless swiping mechanisms to make signing away your future earnings feel as casual as sending a text message. This is not an accident. It is weaponized behavioral economics. The financial industry spends billions of dollars studying how your brain works, specifically looking for the exact friction points where you might stop and think before making a purchase. Their goal is to eradicate that friction entirely. They want you operating in a state of continuous, unthinking consumption. They offer you increased credit limits just when you are feeling the squeeze, packaging this predatory trap as a reward for your loyalty. It is a brilliant, evil magic trick. By lowering the monthly payments and stretching the terms of loans across 60, 72, or even 84 months, they trick your brain into believing that the mountain of debt is actually just a small, manageable pebble. You are invited to live like a millionaire today, completely ignoring the fact that you are forcing your future self to work, grueling, miserable hours just to pay off the interest on a lifestyle you have already forgotten. They have turned the American dream into a subscription service, where you rent your own life from a bank, paying a premium every single month just to keep up the appearance that you own it. Yet, all the colorful app interfaces and viral dopamine hits in the world cannot delay the inevitable, crushing weight of mathematical reality forever. The camera eventually turns off, the viral audio stops trending, and the likes fade away into the digital ether. What remains in the quiet, suffocating darkness of a Tuesday night at 3 in the morning is the math. And math is notoriously devoid of empathy. It does not care about your aesthetic, your excuses, or how many views your unboxing video received. When the dopamine crash hits, the true horror of compound interest begins its silent, relentless work. That 29% interest rate on a depreciating car is not just a number on a page. It is a parasitic organism feeding off your life force. While you sleep, while you eat, and while you work yourself to the bone, the debt grows. I want you to understand the very real, physical toll this takes on the human body. The people flexing their insurmountable liabilities online are living in a state of chronic, low-grade terror. I have spoken to them. I have seen the bags under their eyes and heard the tremor in their voices when the performance stops. They experience sudden spikes in cortisol every time an unknown number rings their phone, terrified it is another collection agency. They lie awake, calculating how to shuffle money between 3 different checking accounts just to prevent a massive overdraft fee. This is the unseen agony of the aftermath. You are no longer working to build a future, to travel, to invest, or to rest. You are working exclusively to tread water in a raging ocean of past mistakes. Your future labor has already been claimed by a bank. Every hour you spend at a job you hate is entirely spoken for by the decisions you made for the algorithm 3 years ago. You have effectively sold your most precious, non-renewable resource, your time, for a handful of cheap plastic and digital applause. You are trapped in a prison with invisible bars, entirely constructed by your own hands. Recognizing this horrifying theft of your life force is the very first step toward launching your personal, quiet revolution. It is time to wake up, pull the IV out of your arm, and walk away from this toxic financial matrix. If the system is designed to keep you broke, indebted, and hopelessly addicted to consumerism, then the ultimate act of defiance is to build real, unshakable wealth in absolute silence. True wealth does not need to scream for attention. It does not require a trending audio track or a flashy unboxing video to validate its existence. True wealth whispers. It is the profound, unbreakable peace of mind that comes from knowing you owe absolutely nothing to anyone. It is the ability to sleep soundly at night, knowing that if the economy crashes tomorrow, or if you lose your job, your world will not come violently crashing down around you. We need to redefine what a flex actually is in this modern era. The new flex is having an emergency fund that can sustain you for a year. The new flex is driving a reliable, 10-year-old car that you hold the title to, laughing all the way to the bank as you invest a car payment instead of handing it over to a lender. It is about aggressively attacking your debts, not with a sense of deprivation, but with the righteous fury of someone who has realized they are being robbed. You must view every dollar you save as a soldier in the army of your own personal freedom. I am asking you to step off the hamster wheel of modern expectations. Stop caring about what strangers on the internet think of your lifestyle. They will not be there to pay your electricity bill when the lights get shut off, and they will not comfort you when your car is repossessed in the middle of the night. Take back your mind. Take back your labor. Protect your resources with the ferocity of a wild animal defending its territory. The path to financial sobriety is steep. It is difficult, and it is brutally lonely at first, because you will be walking in the exact opposite direction of everyone else. But at the top of that mountain is a level of freedom, security, and peace that the debt-shackled masses will never, ever comprehend. In the end, the modern debt crisis is not merely a failure of personal budgeting. It is a carefully orchestrated psychological trap designed to extract your future time and energy. We have traded the authentic fulfillment of true community for the hollow, addictive validation of social media algorithms, funding this digital illusion with weaponized credit. Financial institutions and tech giants have formed a symbiotic ecosystem that profits immensely from keeping you in a state of perpetual, anxious consumption. By masking high-interest traps behind frictionless apps, pastel interfaces, and gamified rewards, they convince you to mortgage your tomorrow for a fleeting dopamine hit today. However, the resulting physical and emotional toll, the sleepless nights, the chronic cortisol spikes, the suffocating panic of the aftermath, is entirely yours to bear. The ultimate realization is that every unnecessary purchase bought on credit is a voluntary surrender of your personal freedom. To break free, you must recognize that true wealth is not a flashy aesthetic to be curated online, but a quiet, impenetrable fortress of security in the real world. It is the profound peace of mind that comes from owning your life outright. Escaping this matrix requires a radical shift in mindset, walking away from the deafening noise of digital applause and choosing the lonely, yet profoundly liberating, path of financial sobriety. By aggressively rejecting the illusion of consumer debt, you reclaim your most valuable non-renewable resource, your time, and finally secure a future that entirely belongs to you. Your money is not just currency. It is the physical manifestation of your time, your labor, and your life force. When you willingly go into debt to impress fleeting strangers on the internet, you are allowing a tech algorithm and a predatory bank to steal the unlived hours of your future. True freedom is born the exact moment you stop seeking external validation and realize that the ultimate modern luxury is a quiet, debt-free life. Reintroduce friction, delete buy now, pay later applications, and remove all saved credit card information from your phone and web browsers. Force yourself to physically get up and find your card before making a purchase, giving your brain time to evaluate if it is a necessity or an impulse. Practice stealth wealth. Commit to a 90-day ban on posting any new purchases, vacations, or lifestyle upgrades on social media. If buying something no longer feels exciting because you cannot show it off online, you immediately know you were buying it for the wrong reasons. Audit your influences. Ruthlessly unfollow any social media accounts, brands, or influencers that trigger feelings of inadequacy or the urge to spend. Replace them with content focused on financial literacy, minimalism, or personal growth. Build the new flex. Take the money you would normally spend on keeping up appearances and aggressively attack your highest interest debt. Once cleared, funnel those exact payments into an emergency fund until you have a year of living expenses saved. What is one purchase you recently chose not to buy in order to protect your financial peace? Please take a moment to share your experience in the comments section below so we can all learn and draw inspiration from each other's perspectives. If you found value in this message, please hit the subscribe button to support the channel. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating more powerful and impactful content for you.